time.
Thank you for this opportunity. So when I decided to do this speech, there's a lot I can talk about myself. I didn't know what to say. I can start from just moving from Africa over here. But I chose to talk about one of the things I like to do. I enjoy being outdoors, and one of the things I enjoy the most is playing rugby or playing soccer or riding motorcycles. So back in 2016, I took a trip. I decided to take a trip all the way to the West Coast. So the speech is just going to be the highlights of my trip and some of the things that I saw and a reflection of the trip. So I left Grand Rapids on a Sunday, went up north to northern Michigan. What I realized about Michigan is really, really big. As soon as you go to the UP, to drive all the way to Wisconsin, it's a big drive. Wisconsin, I didn't like anything about Wisconsin. The beaches out there, they try to mimic the best beaches in Michigan, so it just didn't feel that great. So, but I ended up reaching to Fargo, to Duluth, Minnesota, which was really interesting because Duluth, Minnesota, it's like a valley. So the city is at the bottom of the valley, and you can go on the sides of the valley and see the city from the top. I don't know how life is there when there's snow, because it's really steep hills. So from there I went to Fargo, North Dakota, which was just a normal Midwest state. And I started riding south a little bit, and it was all by myself, and I had a little tent. And I would just camp wherever I found suitable for me to camp. But as soon as I left Fargo, North Dakota, my goal was to reach Badlands in South Dakota. That's when it hit me that this trip is going to be fun or dangerous because people started disappearing. There's not a lot of people in North Dakota. So I had to make a decision, should I keep on going west or should I go back? But I decided to go all the way, keep on moving. So I went to Badlands. I found Badlands it's a really pretty state, or it's a pretty state park to visit or a national park to visit. And I would suggest, if you haven't been there, you should check it out. So from there, another highlight I want to point out is a little city in Wyoming called Ten Slip. It's on the other side of the Bighorn Mountains on the west side. I don't know why they call it a Ten Slip. Maybe it's just because there's 10 families that stay there, but it's really small. From there, I kept on pushing west all the way to Yellowstone. I spent the night at Yellowstone. It's really pretty out there. You're at a higher elevation. The bike was holding up pretty well, but as soon as you climb to higher elevation, there's not a lot of oxygen. So I thought my bike was having some issues, but after thinking about that, everything came all together. So I spent the night in Yellowstone. It was really nice during the day, but sleeping at a tent at Yellowstone when the temperatures fall at night, that was brutal. I wouldn't do that again. I'd probably think about renting a hotel or something, which can be expensive. So from there, I pushed out west all the way into middle of Washington State, where I got pulled over by a cop. I guess I was speeding, that's what he told me. After a few conversations with him, he gave me a piece of paper, and I was out to go west. And then eventually found myself in Seattle, which is a beautiful city. Went up to the Needle, checked it out. You can see the bay. That was really cool. My goal was to start going south until I go to San Francisco. So I was looking forward to riding on the Pacific Highway Coast. So I started going south on the Pacific Highway Coast. 200 miles into it, somewhere in Oregon, I realized, man, this is going to be tough because it's a single lane road. You got people with RVs, you got trucks, you got everybody. But you're always by the ocean. You get to see a lot of wildlife. And I actually had a chance to see whales in their natural state. That was pretty cool, and a lot of seals. Eventually, I made it through after maybe 3 days of riding through the Pacific Highway Coast, and I was in San Francisco. San Francisco is really cool, but once you go into the highland, or I think you cross the Bay Bridge, there's a lot of traffic, and I was stuck in the middle of traffic. The funny thing about California, or the interesting thing about California, they can allow you to split the lanes, so a motorcycle can ride in between. So it took me a minute, should I do it, should I not do it? And eventually I got some courage to follow the other motorcyclists, and that was pretty fun. Then I went into Vegas. Vegas is okay, there's a lot of people everywhere. Then into Hoover Dam. Being an engineer, I really enjoyed seeing the engineering that was done at Hoover Dam. And I would suggest if you have a chance, check it out too. Then finally I went to Grand Canyon, which was really interesting, just seeing how powerful nature can be, and how beautiful nature can be. So that was really interesting. Finally, I found myself in Texas. As soon as I crossed into Texas from New Mexico, it felt good. Once you see that big sign saying, "Welcome to Texas." I don't know what's about Texas, but it just felt good. So from there, I was determined to go back home because there's nothing interesting. Going to Oklahoma, Missouri, Illinois, and finally Indiana, and then back to Michigan. So what's some of the best places I would say that I visited? I think Montana was my favorite, and if I had a chance, I'd actually move to Montana. So thank you very much.